All right, you guys, welcome back to another Stay at Home collection series. I got my homie Jacob here from Vintage Returns. Man, thank you for coming on. Thank you for taking your time to do this. Again, I think it's really cool that you actually live pretty close, man. So we're gonna have to meet up one day. But it's cool. Again, we don't it's not something where we're face to face every day or FaceTime and stuff. So it's cool to talk with you, man, and just chop it up and see your collection. But kind of starting things off. When did you start collecting? When did you get kind of into the vintage game?
Yeah, it's a long story, but short story. So like one of the shirts here, I'll actually show it, kind of got me started in the vintage collection, in the vintage community. Back in like 2015, 16, I always I've been big into hip hop and rap and everything like that. So I always wanted a shirt that had my favorite rapper on it. And I didn't even think of anything like vintage, like old stuff. But like I was looking up Big Pun, like Big Pun shirts. And this was my screensaver from like 2014, 15, like this kind of, and I was trying to look for a shirt like with Big Pun on it. And this popped up. And then ever since then, I found like round two back in like 2015-ish, into 2015, 16. And I kind of followed them for a while. And then I really started collecting hard probably a little over a year ago now, like actually hardcore collecting, selling. So, but like, the first thing was like the Big Pun.
Dude, that's so sick. That's a very random, like,
I know,
a very random rap to have. Like, I collect vinyl and I have a Brandy single with Big Pun and Fat Joe on there. And then it's like, dude, it's I mean, he was good, man. He's still, it's very interesting. But the T-shirts, I'm sure, are probably hard to find as well. Like, how long did it take you kind of to look for that one?
Well, so back in the day, like I saw this one and I think I got it for $50, which they go for like $1 to $150 now. Yeah. But like, back then I thought there was a lot of money. Like I didn't spend that much money on shirts. Like I didn't think about it. But I was like, I really like it, so I got it. But yeah, it didn't take me super long, just because I don't think like people were I mean, I don't know. It didn't take me super long. Honestly, I looked it up and I got it.
Yeah, no,
but
for sure.
These are fine. Like,
oh yeah. It's crazy too because to see the prices. I mean, you mentioned like the $50 to now it's like 100 and 150. Like a lot of these T-shirts are just shooting up, and it's pretty weird to see. But I also get it. It's cool. You sell also, so when did you sell to support the habit of the personal collection, or is it something like you kind of like just do on the side, or?
Yeah, for sure. So I sell a lot, but it started kind of more towards like just selling because like I saw like where it was going and I was kind of making money, and I was selling on Poshmark a lot when it was kind of first going on. And so I was sold on Poshmark. I was making some pretty good money just pretty fast. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. And then all of a sudden I started like liking a lot more stuff. Like you'll see here, like movies and Seinfeld and stuff like that. And so now I just pretty much get stuff to sell to support my habit.
Dude, that's what you do. You got to, man, because it's the way I look at it is like, if you work and, you put your money to your bills or whatever, like whatever you sell, you can just put into the collection, man. So it kind of works. It's a long trade at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, it's
I would love to do this like full time, but my habit's too much right now where I just 5 inches.
No, for sure, dude. Well, I'm excited for you to, come on and everything, show your collection. So, man, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's take a look into your collection, man. What do you got?
So I'll start with the first one, the Big Pun. This is like the original piece that really kind of started for me. So this will probably never be for sale. It's a little big on me because a lot of the Big Pun shirts are, but like it just means too much for me to let it go. Yeah. And I mainly collect like movie Seinfeld, but I have a few like pieces, just like a few that are like kind of not that. There'd be like another Big Pun piece right here, early 2000. But I love this. Like it fits me perfectly, and
it was so crazy. You're like the first person I know that has some Big Pun rap tees, man. This is pretty crazy.
I had some more. I sold one of my favorites to Yusuf. I'm pretty good friends with him, so I sold one to him. But yeah, I love when I see a Big Pun tee that fits me and a good price, I'm gonna buy it. I mean,
definitely.
This one I recently got. This is like a Dennis Rodman shirt. I don't have a lot of it, but I was a big fan of Rodman even before like the hype. I feel like the dude said there's like 100 to 50 of these ever made. So pretty sick.
No, I saw you post that, man. It's so crazy. And yeah, I mean, I'm the same way, man. I've always been a big Rodman fan. And then now with this whole Last Dance thing, I feel like like you've been seeing the, man, like some of those three-peat shirts on eBay are like going crazy. And it's just the hype, man. But Rodman is just such a, not only like his t-shirts, but just as an overall, like, man, just pop culture figure. I think, the basketball player is awesome.
Yeah, funny story about Rodman too. Back in like ninth, 10th grade, I would watch Dennis. My team was terrible at basketball, and so I had to carry the team kind of. But I would watch Dennis Rodman highlights and listen to Roy Jones "Can't Be Touched," and that would get me riled up to play.
Exactly.
But now I'll get into like my Seinfeld collection. So I have this first one. This is probably my favorite Seinfeld tee. I don't know if you can see it. This is Jerry Seinfeld.
Dude, wild.
Yeah, it's on that Delta tag. It's like perfect. I don't know. This is my favorite one. Probably never saw that. But this one's pretty standard. A lot of people have seen this one. That big Kramer face. The Kramer hit on the back. I just love. I mean, I grew up on Seinfeld because like my parents were pretty young when they had me. I was like 20. They were 22 when they had me. Like I was raised on like Seinfeld, and they were like huge Seinfeld fans. So since I was born, I was watching Seinfeld. It's my favorite show of all time.
Dude, it's such a good show, and like it's crazy now because you see like a lot of other people start to like have never seen it before, didn't watch it back in the day, and now they're starting to stream it. And they're like, it still holds up, and like shows like that are just timeless, you know.
I when it hits Netflix next year, it's gonna go crazy. I think just like The Office.
No, for sure.
But this might be familiar to you, but
Hey, oh man.
I've had a couple of these, but yours is the only one I've kept. So the Newman.
Yeah, it's good to stay. You know, I was happy to sell it to you, and that's why, like, when I sold it to you, I had that tape, the 100th episode of Seinfeld or whatever, and sent that along the way. Like, I knew you'd appreciate it, but yeah, man, that was one of my favorites. I used to go thrifting and like, you know, just random like old people would be like, "Hello, Newman" and stuff. Like, it's a pretty wild T-shirt, but no, definitely a great character as well.
This is actually one of my favorites too. It's super simple, but it's on that Fruit of the Loom tag, like the really good, really nice Fruit of the Loom tag. It's got the Seinfeld hit right here and the little hit right here, but it's so soft, like one of the softest t-shirts.
What's your favorite tag? Like, if you had one to pick, what would it be?
Well, I don't want to be like everyone else and say the Fruit of the Loom, but Fruit of the Loom and then the Delta tag. So this tag.
Yeah.
And then that tag are the top two, in my opinion, best feeling tags.
No, for sure. And like, I don't know why. I think it's just the softness of the T-shirt, because then you get like people that are like big Giant Tee fans, or like Giant Tees are always just so thick to me, and they're not like one of my favorite T-shirts is on the Giant tag, but no, those Fruit of the Looms and like the Deltas. I have a lot of Deltas. They're just so soft and just good fit.
Yeah, and I think it's because the Giants, like when you wash them, they sometimes kind of slim sometimes. But yeah, I think But this one's kind of simple, just yada yada yada. But again, it's like super soft. I just love it. It's not something crazy though.
Sometimes the simple ones are the best, you know, just easy to wear.
Yeah. It's really, really good. And it's like kind of in my wheelhouse. I'll just keep it. Like, this one's pretty good too.
Oh.
The George Costanza, The Time of Our Seduction. Love this tee. Because it's just funny episode.
Dude, and like we've talked about it, we get into a lot with Seinfeld. You see the Kramer pieces like more and more, but the Georges, the Lanes, even that Jerry that you're wearing, like you don't see too many of those. It just always seems like it's Kramer. Like I feel like it's got to be hard to find some of those.
Oh, for sure. Like I had it in a Lane. I sold it though, just because it didn't fit me. It was super, super tight. But I'm really on the hunt for a Lane. A Lane's super rare, so if anybody finds it, I mean, hit me up, I'll pay for it.
Right.
But this one's one of my favorites too. It's kind of like it's a Seinfeld tee, but it's like an art tee almost too. Nice. So I don't know a little bit on the graphic, but it has all the cast on there: George, Jerry, Lane, Kramer, 94 on the Fruit of the Loom tag. Love this tee.
It seems like a lot of Seinfeld tees are on those Fruit of the Looms or Deltas. I don't know if you've noticed that, but it seems like a lot of them. I don't know if they've always had them, but that's a crazy one too, that art piece. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, a lot of them are on Deltas. Like
early deltas, late deltas. This is a earlier delta. So should be out on a ledge somewhere. 93 Jerry in the front pocket, and then big Seinfeld on the back.
Nice.
I've had it in dead stock, but they were larges. This is the extra large, so I kept it.
Just a simple chest hit too, man.
Yeah. This one is kind of sentimental too, and sign off, the big sign off. So this is from the last episode. There's like I think they probably gave this out during it, like the last showing of an episode at the Plaza Palace in Hollywood. And the crazy thing is too, the last episode was aired on my birthday when I was 2. So May 14th, 1998. I was 2 then, so it's pretty crazy. Like it's kind of funny how I'm a big Seinfeld fan, and the last episode was on my birthday.
Dude, that's pretty sick. And it's like one of those pieces. I'm a sucker for like the stories behind like the t-shirts and stuff, and like I mean like just the last episode or like things like that, like something that has to do with like the cast and crew, like those are just so cool. And on your birthday, I mean, damn.
It's funny, yeah.
You're meant to be a Seinfeld fan, bro.
I guess so. But this dude, Select Co, I think on Instagram, I don't know if I'm butchering it, but he's a huge Seinfeld fan too, and has a crazy collection. He has a store in Colorado, so some of these pieces I got for him. So
nice.
But here we got another Kramer. In my mind, I'm already gone. The episode where he went to California.
It's sick.
This one's pretty funny. This is this is not my favorite episode, but this is a lot of people's favorite episode. Master of My Own Domain.
Oh yeah. That's a great episode.
Yeah. And here's another Kramer. God knows I don't ask for much. This is from the same episode, actually. When Kramer. You can watch it.
Yeah, you can watch it. We can't get demonetized here, you know.
But a lot of these t-shirts too are like a lot of movie tees, so like I'm not gonna tell a lot about it because you gotta watch it. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
The Cubans is a pretty classic one.
Yeah. Who would you say is your favorite character over on Seinfeld?
I mean, all of them are so good. They all work so well together. So I don't know if I have a favorite one. Like, I mean, Jerry's really good. They're all so good together. Like, if you take one out, it's not Seinfeld anymore.
Like, it's like a good mesh of the cast together. Like when you get that perfect, like I'm a big like sitcom TV show guy, so like when you get that first like that mesh together and they just like feed off each other, like you can really tell if this has like a casual person watching, you know.
For sure. This is a pretty common one, probably one of the more common ones, but just the artwork one.
Yeah.
I love this one. I've had this so many times, but I kept it on the Delta tag just because it just felt the best. So
that one's crazy too because I felt like a lot of times I don't know why I always saw the black version of the Kramer piece, and then like I started seeing the white more, but I still feel like that white one's a little bit more rare. Like you see the black one a lot more.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the black one in my size. I feel like I always see it in large. Just large is large. Extra large.
Yeah, I feel your pain, man.
But this one's kind of a newer one, but it's still pretty sick because it's George. But it's T-Bone, and they call him T-Bone. I just love it so much.
Nice.
This is one of my favorite ones too. This is on the front says Jerry Seinfeld Live, and on the back, Jerry Seinfeld Live. And I don't know exactly the year on this. It could be 96 or earlier, but I think it's just from his stand-up too. So it's not like an actual Seinfeld T-shirt or show, but it's from a stand-up, so it's pretty sick.
No, that is that's something that's probably like nobody really has, and I mean, especially if you're a big Seinfeld fan, it's a nice addition.
Yeah, I was hunting this because I know someone who had it, and then I hunt every day for this shirt until I found it for like a steal on eBay. So.
Yeah. Dude, it's a good feeling when you search, because I'm the same way, man. Even with your page, like I'll see a piece, and I'm like, dude, like I need that, and then you sold it or something. I'm like, damn, man, now I gotta go and look through and keep looking. And you just stay all hours on eBay.
I've got links to find shirts sometimes. Like I'll message the actual buyer because I'll find it in the reviews, and then you want to sell it? They said, yeah. But this is my favorite one, but this is probably my second favorite one. But it's the Kramer Pepsi one. This one's kind of rare, but kind of common at the same time. But it's all over print. Kramer, super sick. I've had a couple of these, but this one is like the more dead stock one I had, so I just had to keep it. Just because I'm more like not like super dead stock, but like almost to there. I'm more into like that, not like super washed.
Yeah, so you're kind of like the more like not like crazy dead stock where it's so crisp it's like annoying, but like to the point where it has a couple wears. That's cool.
Yes, I like it when it's a couple worn, just because when it's like super thrash, it's like really thin. I like it a little bit thicker, and and plus it has more life to it. Like I can wear it for years, instead of a couple and then it disintegrates.
Like you want to be the one to fade it versus like it already coming in faded.
Exactly. Now that's all my Seinfeld stuff I had to show, but I'll get into some of the movie stuff. I'm a pretty big movie tee collector, and this is not a t-shirt, but it's a sweatshirt. We don't see this one too often. The Face Off.
Wow.
Nicolas Cage. Probably my first or second favorite Nicolas Cage movie, but it's a really good one. You don't see that too often.
Yeah, like you don't even see promo tee or promo crew necks too often either, so that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So these actually got off beyond cured, or a few of these, not this one, but Silence of the Lambs. I'm a pretty big Silence of the Lambs fan. It's a pretty good movie. This one's from the early thousands, but they're still like pretty rare. I feel like to come across.
Yeah.
So like that.
No, I mean, I feel like nowadays, especially nowadays, like any like horror promo T-shirt, whether it's like early 2000s, late 90s, like they're just hard to find. Like it's pretty crazy how the market's changed on those too, because like even like 3 to 4 years ago, it wasn't like as big, and now everybody's after it.
Yeah, I just think I feel like movie tees are a little bit more rare because I feel like they were made kind of that time period where like band tees were kind of made for like that whole year, and I feel like they're a little bit more mass produced. But
no, for sure.
I got this one. It's gonna be hard to see, but it's Hannibal, so it's the second one. Break the Silence. It has like that little box Hannibal face in there. Such a good character. Like if you haven't seen Silence of the Lambs, it's so good.
Gotta check it, yeah.
Red Dragon before the Silence. So this is the third one, and this is like the first of the series. If that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So it has this huge back print.
Wow.
That guy had to do like this.
That's a crazy back print. Like, man, sometimes it's weird because a lot of times like you'll have the front graphic crazy, and then it's just a simple hit on the back. It's like the reverse. It's like a mullet. Like
it's like the bad guy. And I almost spoiled, but the bad guy in there has a tattoo like that in the movie, so that's why his back's like tattoo. Yeah. But another trilogy kind of series I like is this is probably one of my favorite trilogies of all time. Is The Bourne. So like The Bourne Identity. Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Going on to the second one. Bourne Identity.
Nice.
It all just go together so well. So like I don't have the Bourne Identity was pretty good, but then you got the Bourne Ultimatum. I've had this shirt a few times. More of a common. I love Matt Damon. He's one of my favorite.
No, definitely. He's just the range, and you feel like a lot of those Y2K, like the 2000s, like promo tees, like I feel like those are gonna start to shoot up here too. So it's like grab them now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, a lot of those aren't like super vintage, like 01, 02, like early 2000s, but like those movies mean a lot to me. So that's why. Yeah, this one I just was stretched out, but The Rounders with Matt Damon and Edward Norton, two of my favorite actors. About Matt Damon, he's a lawyer. You have to watch the movie, but he's a lawyer. And they're really good poker players, essentially. So,
I don't know if I saw that one. I'll have to check that out. Getting movie reviews through T-shirts. So
yeah, it's definitely you should watch it. One of my favorite movies. I mean, I'll probably say this about a lot of the shirts, but definitely one of my favorites. And this is actually, if you can see, size medium, but now it's an extra large.
You did the old stretch method. What's your stretching methods, man?
Well, I had one of the homies tell me how he does it, and he really hooked it up. He showed me a video, and I just watched it, and I just took it by the sides, and every like 30 minutes or so, I just stretch it out, my hands inside, stretch it out, and work my way down. Luckily, it was already like a 20.5 by 29, so I just needed 20. 23 is like my perfect 23.
Yeah, that's a pretty. You could easily get there with the stretch. I've done it on a couple T-shirts. I remember the first time I did it, I was so nervous because I was like, it already doesn't fit, and I was like, if I stretch it too much, then I can't really sell it. So it's kind of like it's kind of a gamble. But when you do get it, it's like, man, this just changed my life, you know?
Sure. And I'm always worried about the neck too. Like I'm worried that the neck's gonna be like all the way out here, which I hate. I just want it to be like a pretty, not super tight, but good, you know.
Oh yeah.
This is another pretty good movie. It's like I haven't seen a poster of this movie, but it's The Green Mile. Tom Hanks. It's like a small kid right there. Pretty sick. But yeah, on all sport tag.
It's another good tag too. A lot of good promos are on that tag. All sport.
Yeah. For sure. That tag is like one of my favorites too.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of this movie, honestly, but it has Eddie Murphy on it, so The Vampire in Brooklyn. But if you have Eddie Murphy on it, it's so good.
It's hard to get Eddie Murphy on the team, man. So it's like, why? It's a very random movie. It's like it's a nice cult classic, but it's nothing too serious,
Nothing too crazy. And you see a lot of clumps. Like the clumps are really popping up here really recently, and like that looks like Eddie Murphy, but like this is Eddie Murphy, And it actually fits me. It's not from the 80s.
For sure.
This is a pretty cool shirt. Wolfman. An old, like the 40s or whatever. It's on a giant tag. But I do like this graphic, super sick graphic. I think 97. So. I got a couple of but the Goodfellas. I think this is like an early 2000s one. But
nice.
it's real super.
Sometimes you gotta go that route because it's like the actual promo with the poster, like that's so hard to find. Like I never see it.
And anybody that has it doesn't want to sell it to you, no matter how much.
Yeah, right.
Or a bunch of reprints, or reprints that are made to look old. But you got to stay out, especially with the Goodfellas. People need to watch out for like the reprints.
Yeah, it's kind of a really crappy thing that's started to happen. Like people. It happens a lot. It's always happened with the Razzies, but now it's like starting to dive into some of these other things. Like I know the homie got kind of jumped with a Tommy Pull My Finger, and it was a promo, but it was like a boot promo of the Tommy Pull My Finger.
Really?
Yeah, man, like it's getting pretty bad. Like a lot of these promo T-shirts, there's a lot of people grab like the vintage blanks and then like they screen print, the graphic onto it. It's faking people out.
I hate that stuff. And I hate like the newer type prints too that people make. Stuff.
Yeah,
they're like,
sure.
But yeah. This is another like early 2000s, but still pretty like super rare Goodfellas with Joe Pesci.
Oh yeah.
Love his big face. This is a lot of my stuff is kind of early 2000s ish. But there's older stuff. Castaway, the Tom Hanks movie.
Great movie.
Definitely one of the movies I kind of grew up on. My dad loved that movie.
When he's the Wilson yellow man, like come on.
This is a cool shirt. The man in Iron Mask. Leonardo DiCaprio, super classic. I do love this tag too, the 707 tag.
Oh yeah.
Pretty sick.
I feel like that trilogy, like DiCaprio, Damon. I could throw Affleck in there too, but like they've made just so many great movies, just a lot of good action films, but they can do dramas, like definitely great actors.
Yeah, definitely. You said that DiCaprio and Matt Damon are probably my top two favorite actors, and then Brad Pitt's in there too. So, but this is a cool shirt, Inner Space. You don't see this one too often. Orange short. My mom, a lot of my stuff is like from my mom, my dad. Like they love this stuff, and so like I grew up on it. But anything with Mark Short, I love just because he's such a funny dude.
Dude, it's so funny. Is there any pieces that your parents, your mom had that you had today that they gave you or anything?
I wish, no. Well, there's like my uncle did have some like Batman Returns, like the all over print ones.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he had some of those, but other than that, they didn't save anything, which sucks.
It's tough, man. I know people that like I've seen like through Facebook groups and stuff. It was like, oh, my mom just gave me like 150 band tees that she had when I was like, dude, I don't have that privilege. I was like, man, I need that. Like, I got lucky today and found like 2 T-shirts at a record store. Like, that's my big win. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's tough.
Plus, if they gave me shirts, I would feel like weird to sell them too because they're so like in the family. But if I don't have any,
right.
But this is a pretty good movie. Interview with a Vampire.
Oh,
this is a common graphic of this thing.
You don't see promo tees for that too often either. That's pretty sick.
Yeah. Stick with the Interview with the Vampire. This is a more rare one, but you still have Tom Hanks on it.
Nice.
I love this shirt. So.
Dude, so those big faces, man. Like it's just so like those graphics on there for the big faces. A lot of them, like it's just those are my favorite for sure.
Sure, yeah. And mostly like when there's an actor that's like a good actor, one of your favorite actors, big face is so cool.
Yeah.
I've been getting into these more often here lately is the Dracula tees. That's with Bela Lugosi in it. But this was like the Blood Dracula, 98. I know I don't say I know I said I didn't like washed and faded, but this one's pretty washed.
It's okay to sprinkle that in, like sometimes like, it's nice to have it in the collection if you want to like rock a nice faded tee. So
here's another Dracula. This is I feel like a lot of these are crazy graphics. I just
love
that.
Those are ones that like I feel like the Draculas, like some of those like horror movies that you don't like think of too often. Like those are the T-shirts, man. Like I'd love to go after. I don't know. Like of course the Nightmare on Elm Streets are like grails and everything, but it's nice to like have some that like people don't see too often. That's the fun with vintage.
I know. I'm very much like I like what I like, and a lot of times people like the Nightmare on Elm Street or like Freddy and Jason, but I go for more like the Dracula, Wolfman, and I'm looking for like Frankenstein, like the early Ed Wood type movie.
Yeah, for sure.
It's pretty sick. Universal Soldier. Pretty cool. I like this one a lot just because of color. And the movies.
The colors pop though on that.
Sure. This one you don't see too often either. Hard boiled John Woo film. Nice fade to it. It's super soft and has a fruit inside. Now this is like I feel like this is like an early 2000s grail too. One Day, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh.
Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie.
Nah, man. Give that like I'm a sucker for those, man. Like the date of like when the movie comes out or like whatever. Like I don't know why. Like I love it. It's so sick. Nah, give that 5 years, dude. That's gonna be like $100 each. Like people are sleeping.
I think it's $100 now actually, but I think in a year, like 2+. Yeah.
I mean, we're getting there. When did that movie come out? Like 04, right, or something like that. So
5, I think. Yeah.
So it's just gonna shoot up from there. Like what I mean, we're getting there.
This is like kind of a slept-on movie, and it's like super simple, but it says Deja Vu on the front back. It's a Denzel Washington movie. Kind of surprising, super good movie. Like I feel like super slept-on movie.
It is. Denzel, another great actor, from that time,
Yeah, it's so good. I know a lot of people have showed this off on your Halloween one. I do like. I'm definitely for like the graphics on front and back. So like I know there's a lot of these that have the back graphic and then Halloween right here, but I love how it's.
Nah, man, you can't go wrong. Is that the H2O or what's it say on the sleeve pit? Is that Dimension Films or what's going on?
It's the Halloween '98, the 20 years
Yeah.
of terror on the DeSantis tag.
Oh yeah, so sick. Again, those. I mean, like, of course, Dracula and like those, but like the horror icons. I mean, you can't. They're horror icons for a reason too. Like Michael Myers. But the Michael Myers you don't see too often. I feel like more people have the Freddys and the Jasons and like those.
Yeah,
pieces.
it's like that's the early 2000s. They made a lot of those, but that one, and plus like every Halloween, me, my brother, my dad, kind of sentimental.
What'd you think of the new movie, the one that just recently came out like a year or two ago?
I don't think I've seen that one yet.
You gotta see it, man. Yeah, because the Rob Zombie one that came out in like 2007 that was wild. But this one's I guess the continuation. Basically, it's like the first Halloween, and then it's like there was nothing after that, so it's like the continuation of that kind of. Pretty interesting.
This is my dad's favorite movie of all time, and this is probably in my top 10. I would think, but The Sixth Sense.
Nice. That hit, yeah.
Crazy movie. One of the craziest, like when I first watched it, one of the craziest endings I've ever seen. So if you've never seen it, watch it.
Right.
Don't read anything, just watch it.
Plot twist.
This is a pretty sick one. We got the Men in Black. This is the game one, so a lot of times like the movie promo one would be just Men in Black and see that front head. But the game one has that back of Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones on the back, so I like this one a lot more.
Oh yeah. Another good movie. Another good actor too, man. You're just getting a list of good actors here. I mean, Will Smith.
Sometimes I do my favorite actor, and I look through like some of my favorite movies through him. I'll just like search that shirt. Yeah. Luckily, one of the homies on Instagram had that posted, and I was like, bro, I need that. He hooked it up, so.
Sure.
This one's pretty sick too. Jack Nicholson, The Wolf. So I like purple a lot too. So like purple face, nice color, super soft.
Nice.
A lot of people. This is a pretty common movie tee. I think one of the more common, the Titanic.
Yeah.
707 tag. And I do like super soft, but it's like the fade is pretty nice too. So not super sucking the fade, but it's pretty.
I mean, it's a classic movie, and like, yeah, that logo, like, you see it, but it's just, I mean, you can't go. If you're a big either DiCaprio or just like a movie promo, I feel like that's just a must in the collection, you know?
Yeah, that's a must have. And plus, like, I feel like there's enough out there for everyone to get one, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like these tees are going to go up too. Like, we talked about Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but like The Dark Knight.
Yes.
Love this tee just because it's like, a magic trick. Heath Ledger was a legend, you know? So.
Oh, for real. And like, yeah, I feel like those are definitely going to go up. Especially the Joker ones, like anything with Heath on it, I feel like it's just going to shoot up like, very soon. Because it's just, I mean, classic movie, but just because of what happened, you know?
Yeah. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. And this tag I like a lot too, the QT's tag. The QT tag. Dope shirt. This one you don't see too often. Reservoir Dogs. Nice back on the back. Love the shirt. I think I never told Yusuf this, but this is Yusuf's shirt. He sold it to another guy, and then the guy sold it to me. So I don't think Yusuf has that. Pretty sick.
Do you guys have that going on down in Kansas City? Like, I know there's actually a good amount of people that like are into vintage there. So like, do you guys like sell someone something and then it ends up in that person's like, kind of circles around?
Sometimes. There's like a core of us that like go to the bins a lot, and we'll trade. Like if someone likes something, we'll work out a trade. And I always keep like a bin of like t-shirts in my car that I'm not like super like attached to in case someone pulls up. I'm like, bro, I got you. Let's switch.
There we go. That's how you do it.
This is actually one of my close friends from the bins pulled this from the bins. This is a crazy one. Stephen King. Mickey All Night, Nightmares and Dreamscapes.
Wow.
Andy Warhol type vibe to it. And when he showed me this, I was like, I have to have that. And they go for a pretty penny, and I paid them because I needed it. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's like those. I mean, those bins experience. You know, when you're at the bins, you see the homies at the bins, and they pull some fire that you want. You're just looking at it, and you're like, man, what can I? Like your brain starts like going miles per hour. You know, it's like, what can I trade and what can I? How much does he want? Like, you know.
Exactly. This is probably one of my favorite movies too. Harrison Ford, great actor. Like we talk about good actors. The Fugitive, just like that wanted, you know, and it tells us like date of birth, how just basically his description of who he is because he's a fugitive. But yeah, really good movie if you haven't seen it, check it out. But I hate Ethan Tag. Speaking of Martin Short, like we talked about, love this movie. No, a lot of people don't know this movie with Pure Luck. It's with Martin Short, Danny Glover from the 80s. Yeah, the 80s. Really funny movie. Martin Short's such a legend.
I don't think I've seen that. I'll have to check that out.
It's a great movie. Oh, this is funny. I feel like this will go up too. But I got this for like $20 on Depop not a long time ago, probably like 5 months ago. But Blades of Glory, I love Will Ferrell. So anything Will Ferrell, I just love. And so, yeah, him and him up front. Early 2000s.
The slept on Will Ferrell movie too, and John, what's his name, John Heater or whatever in it too. Like that's the scene where he's on the treadmill and he's singing the Black Eyed Peas song, whatever. Like it's so good.
When Will Ferrell's like drunk, like when he's doing that little kids thing.
Yeah.
But here's a cool shirt too, Godfather. Now this is a DVD collection, so you don't see a lot of Godfather promo shirts, but this is when the DVD came out back in like the late '90s, I think. I'll just make you off. You can't review on the Delta tag. You can't really see it. Maybe super faded.
Does it have? It's got like that Godfather logo though.
Yeah, it does. Like right there.
Nice.
Gold. So I'm not like I know Marvel's like really big right now. I'm not a huge Marvel person. I kind of like stopped watching Marvel movies since they just kept overdoing it. But Tobey Maguire is definitely my Spider-Man. No debate on that. Tobey Maguire is the Spider-Man. But Spider-Man 1, promo shirt, number 1. So it's funny. Got that back here on the movies coming out. You got Spider-Man down the sleeve. Just love the shirt. And I love like getting some long sleeves every once in a while because when it gets cold, it's nice to have like a t-shirt.
Of course, man. We're in the Midwest. It's gonna get cold. You know what I mean? Like it's.
This morning was like 50. Now it's like 75. It's like.
Yeah, it's it's May. It could snow tomorrow. We don't even know. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like you guys have it a little bit worse than we do, but yeah, I feel.
Yeah, it's pretty wild up here. Like crazy stuff. I mean, I've seen it snow close to June, like probably 2 weeks before June once. It's pretty weird.
But this is another classic movie I love, is The Count of Monte Cristo. So you got just that long sleeve. The Count of Monte Cristo hit right here on the Marina tag.
Nice.
Got a little right here. I love this movie with Jim Caviezel. I love prison movies. Like when he's like in prison, you know, came out on top. Watch that movie again. I slept on. So my dad also is a huge Chris Farley fan. So growing up, I watched all Chris Farley SNL stuff. I grew up on the SNL like 90s SNL stuff, but Beverly Hills Ninja, yeah, Chris Farley. Not his best movie for sure, but definitely just reminds me of this Chris Farley, and I love Chris Farley's like skits and everything.
No, such a good comedian, and him on SNL, but the movies too. And I feel like if he had in the past, man, he would have been like just like giant. Like he would have been, Carrie, Farrell, some of those levels,
Oh, for sure. I mean, he was gonna be Shrek before he died.
Yeah, I saw those videos where it was like the test. Like, it's weird because like now, like of course we know Mike Myers, but like you hear like Chris Farley, it's like damn, he would have been a pretty good Shrek,
He would, yeah. I mean, it's hard to think of anybody but Mike Myers, but like I think I think they would have gave Chris Farley the role because he was the king of comedy at that time. I mean, late '90s. You know. So, to follow up on the Beverly Hills Ninja, you got the Black Sheep. You don't see this one too often. Pretty rare one. Him and David Spade, the iconic comedic duo of all time. Bye. Super sick. This is pretty much Deathstock style. I wear it like every once in a while. I just don't want to grip it too much, but I love this shirt. I'm still looking for a Tommy Boy shirt. Like, if anybody sees this, hit me up. Tommy Boy shirt, I'll pay up.
And not the. Are you looking? Would you be fine with the Tommy Boy just across the logo? Because I've seen the one with like both of them though, like in the big picture.
Yeah, I've seen that one recently, and a homie got that one from the Virtual Flea not too long ago. It wasn't large, so I kind of passed up on it because I'm not gonna like spend over $200 on a shirt I'm not gonna wear. I don't feel like.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's. I would definitely want the poster. Like, I'll spend up on a poster tee of him and David Spade, but I've never seen. And I've hit up a lot of OGs in Vintage, and they haven't seen it either. So there's hope, but hopefully. This one's probably one of my favorite movies of all time. You got Catch Me If You Can, Tom Hanks, Leonardo DiCaprio. Crazy movie. It's early 2000s, like 2002 when it came out, but so it's a classic. And I love biopics. That's my favorite. Like, some of my favorite movies, because I'm a huge like history person. Like, in school, history was my favorite subject, and that's probably why I like vintage, honestly, just because like the past, and I love history. And so when there's some movie about someone's life, and then they do a biopic of it, I love that. So
nice. Yeah, me too, man. I think it's the biopics and like the history, like even the ones that have recently came out, like for music, like the Bohemian Rhapsody and like the one about Elton John, and like all those are like just fantastic. I think.
I love those. Yeah, this one's a pretty. You don't see this one too often. 7 Years in Tibet with Brad Pitt. Super sick graphic on front. Big Brad Pitt on the back. Just Brad Pitt on a T-shirt is just awesome. I feel like. Now, talking about movie tees, this is probably my number one favorite movie of all time. You don't see this shirt too often. The Shawshank Redemption.
Wow.
So you got Robbins, Morgan Freeman on the front. It's just a spell out, 94 on the bass tag. Super, pretty rare shirt. You never see this too often, but this is definitely my favorite movie of all time. I wish they made a poster tee. I don't think they'd ever did, but it's the closest thing I got.
I mean, it's sick though. Simple. Sometimes just the simple, like, with the actor's name is pretty sick,
Yeah, exactly. I like this movie a lot too because they remember Brad Pitt with Fight Club. Now, this is early 2000s of that tee, but this is the first T-shirt that was made with the two characters on it, so it's still pretty rare. A little bit of my Pulp Fiction collection. We got Dr. Volta on there. It's on a AAA tag, so it's early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is the first shirt that was made with them two on it, so pretty sick. Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
And then the one everybody knows about, the one, poster one. Pretty sick.
It's classic. I mean, like, you see it, but it's still a classic shirt,
I feel like this is the first movie tee that really like set the bar back a couple years ago, and then ever since then, like, more is. And then this one's pretty rare. You don't see this one a lot. But you see Uma Thurman on the front, Pulp Fiction down the side. This is from City Dump. I got this from City Dump. You let this go. Pretty super rare shirt from Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah. I've never really seen that one before. I feel like the only ones I really see too often are the Uma Thurman ones. So that anytime you see, and it seems like with a lot of movies, it seems like a lot of promos, like you get that one that's you see a lot, and then like there's like these little like Easter eggs, crazy ones that are out there that you gotta go and find.
Yeah, like I love that 2000s one the most with Samuel L. Jackson, because he was my favorite character on there. But yeah, those are. I mean, the Uma Thurman one, the poster one's still a classic one. A lot of people like that one. This is definitely one of my favorite tees too. The Lugosi Dracula tee. Super. I mean, in person it's a lot cooler, but super sick graphic of him on the front. That's Dracula. Yeah, super soft. He is Dracula pretty much.
Oh yeah.
And then this one's also a cult classic, really good movie, Cape Fear, Robert De Niro. Super sick movie. My time as a hand. This one's pretty distressed, but when you see a T-shirt, this T-shirt, it doesn't pop up too often.
Yeah.
I had to grab it.
Yeah.
I did a pretty sick trade for this. For like a Nirvana tee I had, and then some cash on top, and you let this one go. I was like super stoked because you don't see it too often. One of my favorite shirts too. I mean, I said it about all of them, but Rambo 3, 1988. Huge helicopter on the front, explosion, and on the back you have Sylvester Stallone just in the sunset.
I don't think I've ever seen a Rambo promo T-shirt. That's pretty.
I know. Yeah, and I've never seen, like, when I saw this, because the homie from Thailand had this, and when I saw this, I was like, I have to have it. Plus, it's an extra large, and an 80 shirt that's extra large is super hard to come by. I feel like most of the time you see them like as a small, but then it has like this green neck too. So it's green neck, so it's
Nice.
That's pretty much it. I mean, a t-shirt collection.
Sure, man. Dude, I've always been like just crazy into promo tees, and it's nice to meet people that are also in it because it seems like a lot of people I know are always into band tees and things like that, and there's just that something about a promo T-shirt, you know, whether it's the nostalgic part of like watching the movie, and just the movie, the actors, like the actual pieces itself. It's just always cool to see, and definitely an amazing collection, man. Everything from the movies to the Seinfeld. I mean, we've talked about the Seinfeld off camera before and everything. So, man, just amazing collection. Thank you for coming on. I definitely appreciate it. Before we go, man, where can they find you? Where can they shop with you at?
For sure. So my Instagram is the_vintage_returns. So the vintage returns. And then I post stuff on Depop all the time. It's Cubby's Closet on Depop. And that's pretty much it.
Cool, man. Again, I thank you for coming on and definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much, man.